Good morning. I'm John F. Gately. You can call me Jack, broadcasting to you from beautiful Plymouth, Massachusetts. Beautiful Wednesday morning to you. We got a lot of great stories that we want to cover today, including how Maura's pilot program to move people from shelters, Healey hotels, into apartments has crashed. Yeah, the pilot program has crashed. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover Attorney General Campbell suing Trump. We have Jamie Eldridge, his craziness. We're going to talk about that. A lot of great stories in today's show. But first, I want to cut immediately to the story out of Vermont and the Border Patrol agent who lost his life in the line of duty on Monday. Let's check in with what we know. I promised I'd cover this story for you. So let's check in with NBC News 5 in Vermont, the local channel up there, see what they know. Hit it.
The federal investigation and any new details will be coming from the FBI. There hasn't been an update or news conference from federal officials just yet. But
there hasn't been a news conference. The governor did speak. We're going to hear from the governor in just a second. It does seem to be true that this officer moved from Texas to Vermont. There seems to be some evidence of that. And I know, because I've been kind of following up there that account from the Swanton sector, and I know they were trying to actually get Border Patrol officers to relocate to Vermont because the percentage of crossings up in the Vermont area has increased a lot. I mean, still a trickle compared to what you would see like at Eagle Pass or Del Rio or wherever, but it's percentage wise has increased a lot. And they've spent a lot of money. The federal government spent a lot of money. It didn't escape me when I was up at the northern border in New Hampshire, in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, this past year, that the facility they had there was like brand spanking new. And I did go over to the Vermont border briefly, but this location was a little bit farther west of where I went on I-91, which you folks in Western Massachusetts certainly aware of I-91. So back to NBC 5.
Earlier today, Vermont Governor Phil Scott addressed the situation for the first time during his weekly news conference.
I want to extend my heartfelt condolences to Agent Malin's family, friends, and colleagues. The FBI is leading this investigation, and the Vermont State Police will continue to assist in any way they can. Information is still being collected, and we don't have more to share at this point, unfortunately.
All right, so they don't have more to share at this point. You're expecting at some point that there'd be an FBI press conference. Now, right, the FBI, right, I get it. But I also understand that, there could be some leadership changes going on at the FBI currently that might be slowing down the administrative press conference portion of the whole situation. The Officer Mayland is now been named, as you hear from the governor, and we'll keep you up to date as this story progresses. There were at least two assailants in the car that was stopped. It was a traffic stop situation, apparently on I-91 southbound. And one of those assailants is deceased at the scene, and the other one was injured and is now in custody. So we'll keep you posted as that goes along. Back to Massachusetts. So as you're aware, the governor made a very aggressive statement at her State of the State speech last week that she was going to end Healey hotels by the end of the year. I had heard that she kind of wanted to phase it out over an 18-month period and that it would somehow go into 2026. But last week, she said by the end of the year, meaning 2025. And her major strategy for this is it's not as if she's just going to pull the plug on the program and just let everyone, fend for themselves. No, it's more diabolical than that. If it was a red carpet for illegal immigration before, now it's going to be like literally a golden carpet. Like my great grandparents, they came to America and they thought the streets were paved with gold. apparently that reality is now possible under Maura Healey, paid for by you and me, because now her plan is to move people from shelters into the apartment rental market, which in its thousands and thousands of families. And that's going to actually obviously create more demand, and the rent is already too damn high, but now it will get higher with that additional demand entering the marketplace. And here's the thing. The pilot program that they call resettlement, they had about 8 nonprofit agencies manage this pilot program. Over the last year, they spent $10.5 million on it. And you can go get this story at johnfgately.com, which we just dropped this morning. Pilot program to move illegals from shelters to apartments cost $112,000 per family and hit only 23% of the goal in 2024. So they moved 93 families, or resettled is the phrase. You got to use the Orwellian phrase. They resettled, to use my Howie Carr voice, they resettled 93 families, and it cost them $10.5 million. So basic math, right? Class, grab your calculator. That's $112,000 per family. And it's a warning flag for the efficacy of Healey's plan now to get rid of the Healey hotels by the end of 2025. This pilot program has been incredibly slow. They only hit 23% of their goal. They were supposed to move 400 families in 2024. They moved 93. That's it. They moved 93. Raising significant concerns about Maura Healey's promise to phase out our hotel shelters by this year, a pilot program to relocate homeless families into apartments and out of Healey fallen far short of the goal. And again, you can read this story at johnfgately.com. The pilot program was designed to forge a path for the governor's state of the state goal by increasing the home base program. So the home base program, it in and of itself, probably not a bad program for American citizens, Massachusetts citizens, but now they want to increase it for illegal immigrants so that you who are struggling to pay your rent and or mortgage, you can pay their mortgage. It makes sense, right? And they want to increase the subsidy on that up to $25,000 of rental aid annually for 2 years. So does that mean $50,000 over 2 years? I think that's what that means. Without any changes to the EA housing program, we're expected to spend, as many of you already know, $1 billion this fiscal year and $1 billion in FY26. The director of Office of Refugees and Immigrants, who crashed the plane here, so to speak, that crashed this pilot program, said the slow start reflected difficulty in ramping up a new service during a state of emergency. Who caused that? Under the pressure of time and in a tight housing market. And of course, the program itself makes the housing market tighter. So there's that irony as well. There's that I already know. By the way, thank you so much for joining us. Just astounded by how many people actually tune in and then watch this. It's just amazing to me. So thank you. Great to have you here today on this chilly Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday, right? Yep. So if you haven't noticed, the enemy is within the wire. The enemy, they're in the wire, right? As they say in the war movies, right? They're in the wire. And I tweeted this out yesterday. I posted this. It's still staying tweet. Beyond Bond, the organization that is far behind in filing their state reports, including one of their tax returns, they are actively, how do I want to say this, helping people make ICE's job harder. This is a graphic that they posted yesterday. It comes from Maura. by the way, just a quick aside. It was Mayor Wu trolling us when she named her newborn child, God bless them, Myra. Isn't her new child's name Myra? Is she trolling us? I don't know. But Myra is on the march. They are on the march. They're very upset that the birthright citizenship, that the CP1 app has been canceled. They are very, very upset. And they're doing everything they can. This is one of Maura's favorite organizations, by the way, if you didn't know. They are doing everything they possibly can to keep as many illegal immigrants in Massachusetts as absolutely possible. They're posting on their socials. Don't worry about this. We're going to win this. We're challenging it. Advocates have already sued the federal government to stop this change from happening. And then, of course, they talk about the app. They are big mad, as the kids say. And Duncan Burns nails it. Congratulations. This is Myra Coalition is not our friend in Massachusetts, and neither are the Massachusetts Dems, who get their money through their lobby. Hey, somebody news. Where are their filings again? Maybe look into any federal funding, anything to do with DEI. These people promote the invasion. I don't know what this sentence here means, but I'll look into that, Duncan. And these people promote the invasion. I think he nails it there for sure. Whether you're a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, student visa, undocumented, you have legal rights. Yeah, you have the right to go back to the country that you came from, where you belong. You have that right. Let's not forget that right, that you can go self-deport yourself, please. That'd be nice. The Attorney General for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Andrea Joy Campbell. I'm not feeling the joy right now. I'm not feeling the joy when I talk about Andrea Campbell, but it seems to be her number one priority yesterday as your Attorney General was to sue the federal government and Trump, right? If you hadn't noticed, that's how Maura Healey basically because I sued Trump 100 times. And now we're suing Trump over this birthright citizen. She had already ramped up her whole operation to do exactly this. I mean, it's kind of like you could see this coming. She's 17 AGs. I think there are actually technically 2 different cases. I heard the Arizona AG is on board. She's also a crazy lunatic Dem out in Arizona. AG joins in lawsuit against Trump's citizen order. Yeah, and the way Andrea Campbell thinks about this headline, by the way, is she's probably ripping mad about this headline because it says she joins states where what she really wants is AG Campbell leads states. Right? As far as she considers, this is a bad headline because it doesn't have her picture in it. And it says she's joining others instead of leading the country, right? Because that's what she's all about. She's all about getting the headlines. This is just a headline grabber to make sure that she's defending illegal aliens and jacking up your tax bill. Maura Healey retweeted because Andrea Campbell is basically just following the Maura Healey path here. The Constitution is clear. Is it? I guess we're going to have to find out. I'm not a lawyer like Andrea Campbell or Maura Healey. I was too smart to go to law school, as you obviously have observed by watching this live stream at least once. I was too smart to go to law school, so I couldn't tell you if it's in the Constitution, but I don't remember it actually being in the You tell me. I guess we're going to find out when this probably goes to the Supreme Court. It's been originally filed in Boston, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The Civil Rights Coalition, never missing an opportunity to fight back, hint, hint, according to their handle. They said, if that's true, Maura, then repeal Chapter 135. With the stroke of a pen, you violated the civil and constitutional rights of 100,000 plus people when you went so far to try to stop our efforts by declaring a state of emergency. That's called a double standard. defend the principles America was founded on. Way to go, Civil Rights Coalition, for not letting a good opportunity go by. By the way, the Civil Rights Coalition, their tactical use of social media is exceptional. So way to go, your Civil Rights Coalition in Massachusetts. Fight back, MA. Massachusetts lawmakers weigh link between federal immigration officers and local authorities. And basically, this is a story about how Massachusetts is a sanctuary state. There are some people who want to make it less of a sanctuary state, and some people want to actually make it more of a sanctuary state. Remember, there are, do I have to do this again? There are effectively at least two parts to having a sanctuary state. One is that you do not honor ICE detainers. And two is that you will not cooperate with ICE in any way, shape, or form. Won't even take their phone call, won't cooperate. So I want to scroll down in this article here to the proposal from State Senator Jamie Eldridge, who is beyond cray-cray, right? There's a discussion about Ryan Fatman's proposal, which I've covered before on this channel. So I'm going to skip that for today. No offense, Ryan. I hope that your bill passes. But I want to focus on how crazy Jamie Eldridge is. And that's what we're going to focus on in this small segment here. He is all down with the so-called Safe Communities Act, which, once again, whether it's the Inflation Reduction Act or the Affordable Care Act, the name of the bill is the opposite consequence of the bill. I think we all are quite aware of that. And he also announced that if he was a member of Congress, he would have voted against the Lake and Riley bill. May have a better chance of becoming law this year with Trump back in the White House. So technically, we don't have a Safe Communities Act on the state level, but Jamie Eldridge wants us to have a Safe Community Act on the state level. He thinks it's critical to draw a bright line between federal immigration enforcement and state and local enforcements. Basically, he says that it would ban court and police officers from questioning a person about their immigration status unless state and federal law requires the inquiry. It also mandates written consent before authorities to conduct an interview with somebody focused on immigration. In other words, roadblock, one piece of red tape after another, and actually to do your job. The proposal also prohibits law enforcement from initiating communication with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. In other words, don't you dare talk to the federal government. Right? That's what Jamie Eldridge wants. He wants roadblocks to communication about someone's pending imminent release from jail or house of correction. So this is all about effectively making it legal to let illegal immigrants out the back door while the ICE agent is waiting in the lobby of the courthouse. That's exactly what Jamie Eldridge wants to do. Grunder, who's the state affairs director for Maura, who we just talked about a minute ago, said the Safe Communities Act is often misunderstood. No, I think we understand it perfectly. I think the main thing that people get wrong about the bill is that there's this perception that somehow it would prevent law enforcement from being able to do its job. No, I think we have the exact correct perception. I think we have when you say that the local police department cannot pick up the phone to call Homeland Security, no, I'm pretty sure we have the exact correct perception of what the Safe Communities Act would mean in Massachusetts. I think we've nailed it. Yeah, thank you, Maura. Thank you, Maura. No, I think we know exactly what it would do. President Trump is back, and it's glorious. And I know this has got a lot of views on X, but I just love this clip. So just for 15 seconds, take a look. He's talking about the pardons and how some people might get commuted sentences because they actually did do something wrong on January 6th. And there were some people that followed that guy. But listen how he just handles this reporter.
Like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon. But these people have served years of jail, and their lives have been ruined. And in many cases, listen to me for a second. Stop interrupting. They served years in jail, and
listen for a second. Stop interrupting. Nobody elected you. Nobody elected you, you rude reporter. And the reporter's like, "Oh, I apologize." And by the way, isn't it nice to actually have a president? Like an actual president? How many? It's Wednesday. The inauguration was Monday. I mean, how many press conferences has this guy given? It's not even 9:00 on Wednesday. So he's been in office for, somebody do the math, less than 48 hours, less than 40. And if you did, I said the other day, I'm sure this is on YouTube somewhere, but if you had missed Trump's press conference / executive order signing from the Oval Office, oh, it's vintage. It's varsity level Trump. Literally signing, what's this order say? Oh, withdraw from the World Health Organization. And he's bantering back. It's priceless. It's priceless. And it's great to have a president again. I'm wearing my UMass shirt today. As you know, my daughter goes to UMass, and I went, I know that a lot of you think that the UMass Amherst is the real UMass. And I went to UMass Boston. I know. Harvard have it on the HABA. And Healey has come out with a proposal. I'm a huge fan of public higher education, in terms of, not as what it's become, but in terms of the opportunity it could provide if we kind of cleaned it up a little bit, But setting that aside, Healey has come out with a new plan to invest in public higher education capital plants, which I'm not necessarily saying is a bad idea, but I have some reservations about how it's funded. And the number one way it's funded is taking some of the money from the millionaire's tax, which is new, and then borrowing against that money to fund the capital improvements. So I am not a financial genius. I've definitely made some financial mistakes in my life, but I do have a master's degree in state and municipal finance from Suffolk University. And so this is something I know a little bit about. And to take a new revenue stream and then use that to borrow against, I don't know if I like that idea. I don't know. It gives me I'm a little queasy about that. Filed $2.5 billion borrowing bill. Oh, wait, hold on. Where have I heard that number before? $2.5 billion. Oh, right. That was the amount of money that Charlie Baker misspent in unemployment insurance fund. Would dump cash. Also would dump cash. Chris Van Buskirk would dump cash. Should we be dumping cash into Massachusetts public higher education, or should we be wisely investing it? I don't know if I want to just dump cash into the system. I think I want to wisely invest in the aging infrastructure that the first term Democrat argued has suffered from neglect. You do need, as a government, as a capable government, you do need to maintain your infrastructure, your roads, your bridges, your buildings. Very, very important. And it is one of those things that a lot of people, right when they have any type of financial trouble, especially a government, you put it off. Those are the deferred maintenance, right? MBTA, I'm looking at you. It's really super easy to delay that, but the way they're financing, a little bit concerned about how that might be financed. By the way, I was not joking when I talked about the the coverage of how Charlie Baker stole, I'm just going to say stole, a $2.5 billion from the federal government. I laughed when I read WGBH and how they had to describe it as an unemployment mistake, after the Baker administration mistakenly used federal pandemic funds to cover unemployment benefits. And so that was GBH, and BUR called it state misspent under Governor Charlie Baker. So, yeah, if you steal, I don't know, $63,000 in unemployment benefits from the federal during the pandemic, you are going to get indicted, as you should. But if the Charlie Baker misspends it or steals it, you get some awesome job at the NCAA, right? Yeah, and then the media covers it up for you. I understand how this works, okay? Hey, by the way, if you like this show, don't hesitate to head over to jackgately.com and buy or sell a house with me, or join my real estate agency, take my real estate class, drop me a news tip, or any other links there. jackgately.com. You can find all my links right over there, especially buy a house with me, please. So getting back to the college thing, this is a pretty clever tweet. Boston Mom. Why am I not following Boston Mom? There we go. I'll correct that right away. The horror. Better not send your kids to college. So when your son goes MAGA from the New York Times, I was like, who's got a hold of my son? One mother said. Some liberal parents face a new unexpected challenge: how to talk to their children who voted for Donald J. Trump. Oh, the horror. Oh, the horror. And by the way, sorry, Boston Mom. I don't know why I wasn't following you before. So I remember when I dropped my daughter off at UMass just last fall. She's a freshman there. And I had the heart-to-heart talk. Please don't come back for Thanksgiving and tell me that we have to burn down our house because we're living on stolen land here in Plymouth, or, and she's a little bit to the left of me, but that's all right. And so, we had a normal Thanksgiving, I'll just say. So everything was fine. But I did kind of have that joke. Please don't come back a commie. And, we laughed about it a little bit, but I kind of ribbed her a little bit the other day because she's, 18. She watches TikTok. And I said, Trump, she doesn't like Trump. Trump saved TikTok. And she was like, Trump did something I liked. She was like, damn. And then later on, I told her, but they in order to save TikTok, they had to rename it Trump Talk. And she was like, is that real? And, as a dad, you have to take your opportunity. You don't get many opportunities. And you just have to take them where they come. This was the funniest thing in media today. This is the WBUR. Anita Dimet, whatever your name is. I did not watch the inauguration, but she then tells you all the things that happened at the inauguration that she didn't like. This is part of, and this is absolutely the funniest part. This is part of WBUR's Cognoscenti articles. Talk about elitism, because Cognoscenti are people who are considered to be especially well informed about a particular subject. Tell us you're an elitist without telling us you're an elitist. And then, so you didn't watch the inauguration, but you're considered to be well informed because you're part of the Cognoscenti, and you're writing an article about the inauguration. Everything gave me flashbacks. I didn't want to hear Carrie Underwood bother with an endless loop of postmortems, either the seating chart, and then she bashes Melania's outfit, which apparently she did. Anita, I think you did watch the inauguration. I think you're lying to us. Cognoscenti. What a joke. I mean, tell us that you're so out of touch with and that you're such a hypocrite. Cognoscenti. Oh, these are the smart people. These are the smart people. Notice how BUR never interviews the grandmother that works the window at Dunkin' Donuts. They can't be bothered with actual working class people. All they're concerned about are elitists and their degrees, than the people that live in Hingham and Brookline and Arlington and Acton. That is their base. They don't really care about working class people in Massachusetts. They're disgusting. Chris Van Buskirk, today is House 1 day. So Maura is going to come out 1:30 this afternoon and release House 1, which when I worked at the State House many, many years ago, we just used as a literally used as a doorstop. And then the House Ways and Means will rewrite the whole thing. So it's just a press opportunity. Global warming is real. Global warming is real. And if you go to the Waffle House in Pensacola, you'll see how real it is. You'll see how real it is. Cece says, this looks familiar. I'm not going to cover this story because I think all of you actually already know what it is, right? You already know what it is. Seth Moulton is just begging. Seth Moulton is begging for a primary, which will be glorious, which will absolutely be glorious. I hope he gets primaried. There's a new sheriff in town. I think she has some Republican background. She used to be a staffer for Orrin Hatch, and she used to work in Washington, D.C. primarily. Her name is it Leah Foley? Leah Foley. She is the new sheriff for, in other words, the new U.S. attorney for Massachusetts, replacing Joshua Levy. He resigned on January 17th. Leah Foley still faces requirement to be confirmed by the United States Senate. So remember the track record of our most recent U.S. attorneys, Rachel Rollins, and there is a strong tradition that the local U.S. senators, that would be Markey and Warren, oversee who gets to become the U.S. attorney. So that's a strong tradition in the U.S. Senate that the local senators get the veto power, so to speak, over who becomes the U.S. attorney. We'll see if that tradition continues or if Trump is like, F you, we're putting in our team, which I think is probably his, because I don't think in any way, shape, or form he really cares who Elizabeth Warren or Ed Markey wants as a U.S. attorney. So especially after they brought us Rachel Rollins, Josh Kraft is running for mayor. Who cares? Yeah, I'm not interested. Go sell crazy somewhere else. Should we limit the expansion of national gas infrastructure in Massachusetts? James Pizer, the education guy. Jim, I don't know where all of a sudden now you're an energy policy expert writing at Commonwealth Beacon, but the answer is obviously no. Not only should we not limit it, we should expand it. Natural gas has made all of our climate situation much better. And instead of burning coal, which you all hated, we moved to natural gas, and now things are better, and we have boatloads of it just a short distance away in Pennsylvania. So not only should we not limit it, that's not the question, Jimmy. The question is, why aren't we expanding our capacity? Don't take my gas stove. You know the answer. Drill, baby, drill. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have got some family thing that I got to go do, and I wish I could take your comments, but I can't manage it today. I got to run. You have a great day. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.